right, looking at today, this is our last new lesson of the week. We're going to be looking at diagramming data. Today we're looking at scatter plots specifically. So we've looked at box and whisker, we looked at stem and leaf, and now we're going to look at scatter plots. So we can see this problem here. It says, and we're going to just do, or we're going to learn by doing in this problem. This is really familiar to some of the things we've seen before, so we'll be able to use our previous knowledge to help us. Here it says, construct a scatter plot for the following data, which relates the number of exercise minutes to a person's heart rate. So we're saying this person exercises 5 minutes a day, their heart rate is 92. This person exercises 30 minutes a day, their heart rate is 75. Okay, that's what this data is saying. So we're going to first graph it, and then we're going to answer these two questions here. What does the graph show? And state, there's some more typos for you. State whether the correlations seem to be positive or negative. So, first of all, we have this. This should look familiar. This is quadrant 1 of the coordinate plane. Now, I could have given you the whole coordinate plane, but notice, and this is going to be for all of our scatter plot problems, are any of these numbers negative? No. So do you need the other 3 quadrants? This is the only quadrant that includes positive x values and positive y values. Now in this problem, they gave us m and they gave us r. So instead of x and y, we're going to be using m and r. So I'm going to come over and label this axis as m, this is r. Now technically they could be switched around, but if you did that, you'd have to change everything. Now along the bottom, we need to label this. Do we have room to go up to 60 here? Very clearly not, right? So we're going to have to figure out another way to count. Will it fit if we count by 5? So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. No, the highest value is 60. So we're going to have to count by 10. So we have 10, 20. I might not be able to fit them all, or write them all in, but you guys look at the gist. We could write every so often. So we'll say this is 40, and we could say this is 60. Okay, and then we have the heart rate values, and we look over here, these range from in the 60s all the way up to the 90s, so I think we're going to have to do it by tens again. So we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, so that will fit. And we may want to label this side minutes of exercise. And we'll label this side. And if you want to fill the values in, you can. You may need to count by 20s as we did over here to fit it in, or how we eventually did, and I'll write this in as heart rate. Okay, so let's graph these points. So we're saying that the m value is 5 and the r value is 92. So we'll go 5 on the m, or 5 on the, what we used to call x, right? So we'll go halfway to 10, and then it's at 92. So we know this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So 92 is going to be about there. And again, we're just being approximate. All right, our next point is 30, 75. So we'll go to 30 here and then up to 75. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Now the next one would be 80, so we'll go halfway in between 75. And you're going to continue graphing our points here. So we have, the next one is 78 and 15. Now notice, don't confuse these, right? They don't mean the same thing both ways. We labeled this axis here M, so that needs to be what we do first, 15. So we have 10 and we have 20, so we'll go halfway in between 15 and then 78. And I'm going to come over here and label these because this is getting kind of tedious. 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90. We can put 100 up here too. Okay, so we have 15 as our minutes of exercise, and then 78 as the heart rate. So 15 was in between these, so we'll go up here. 78 will be nearly to 80. Again, these don't have to be perfect, but try to make them as accurate as possible. Here we have 10, 90, so we're going to go over to 10, up to 90. Then we have 45, 70. So we're going to go over, so we have 40. Next one would be 50, so 45 will be halfway in between, up to 70. So we'll put it there. Okay, and you guys can take off if you think you know what you're doing, or stick with me. 12 and 88, so we're going to go So we have 10 here, we have 20 here, so it'll be closer to 10. And then up to 88, so nearly to 90. So follow your way up here, pretty close to that other point. Okay, 40, 74, so 40, and then up to 74. Okay, keep going, 60, 68, so over to 60, up to 68, so almost to 70. And you may want to use a pencil, especially here. I recommend that in all of your homework, but you do not want to make a mistake here. 35 and 76. So we're at 30, and then halfway between 30 and 40 would be 35. 35 and 76. So we'll go up, and it'll just be about right there. And again, just trying our best. 20 and 76, we'll go over to 20, up to 76. And then 8 and 78, so over, not nearly, or all the way to 10, but close to it. 8 and then up to 78. And then lastly, 25 and 76. So 25, so here's 30, so halfway in between there. 25 and 76, about right there. Okay, so we have this data plotted now, and we're going to answer those two questions. What does the graph show? What are you seeing here? First of all, we notice some higher points here, and then as we go farther along, we notice it seems to drop off. Okay, so that's what I would say, and I would write that in words. Since we're talking about here, we'll just speak it orally, but you would actually write that out. So you would just say what you notice. And then the other question they ask is state whether the correlations seem to be positive or negative. So looking here, now remember we learned about lines. They can have a positive or a negative slope. When we look at scatter plots, we can say whether they have a positive or a negative correlation. So looking here, would you say the way these points fall, notice if we were to draw a line, and I'll use my pencil for this, you can see that it would kind of follow this general projection. Would that be a positive or a negative correlation? Would that be a positive or negative? Well, when it goes down and to the right, we would say that would be negative. And so the conclusion we could draw here is the more you exercise, right? Because the further you get on this axis, it's more exercise. The more you exercise, the lower your heart rate is. All right? And that matches what science is too, right? So that is our example. And for your homework, you will complete a scatter plot. You can see the chart that you're going to be using here. And they've already set this up. We have years. We have the snowfall for each of or for these years. And you'll plot those points so you can see years are across the bottom. Inches in snowfall for northern Michigan is here. You'll plot all of those points, and after you've plotted the points, you will reflect on it. What pattern does the data seem to follow? Explain. Please use plenty of words here, all right? It shouldn't just be a couple words. You should use a sentence or two, okay? And then what is the correlation? Is it positive or is it negative? Are you seeing it trending up through the years? Are you seeing it trending down? Or is there some other thing, or maybe there's no correlation, it's random? So let me know what you are seeing there, and that'll wrap it up for Thursday.